Now you're looking for trouble condition.
Hello and welcome to another episode of American Werewolves, where we talk all things horror. I am your co-host Brandon,
and I am Jerry,
and we are finally back with a full-length review. It has been a while, and we are here talking about this guy, Art the Clown, in his latest movie, Terrifier 3. This movie has been highly anticipated by a lot of horror fans. If you just give me 1 second, actually, I'm totally messing up. Cool. All right, we can see me a little better. Why do you have a lighter?
I don't know. It was just on the counter, and I'm playing with it now.
Oh, I got you. Right on. It fits the mood, I guess.
Imagine there's a gas leak and I just blow the fuck up.
That is some Art the Clown shit. I'm just saying right now.
I need Norman to edit.
You watch these movies too close to back, all right?
I need Norman to edit, like, right after I say that, and you're like, when you say don't say that, and then my screen just explode.
Oh, if he doesn't, I will do it. I'll find a way. Ooh, hold on a second. Okay. He was looking up at me, so I had to bring him on the show right now.
What a good boy.
You guys, I'm sure all 5 of you of our fans watching remember Dexter. He's a good boy. He loves horror movies, and he loves fire. And I love him. Say hi to the world, Dexter. You like Art the Clown? No, from him, dog. All right, go back. Love you, psycho ass dog. But aside from gas leaks and cute animals, we're going to be talking about this animal over here. Not so cute. Well, some of you have been thirsting for this fool for some reason. I've been seeing it online. Everyone is saying, like, Art is brat, Art is sexy, Art is just, he is an icon, I guess. Everyone loves Art. And after his first weekend at the box office, it's just been proven right over and over again. Terrifier 3 is the latest from filmmaker Damien Leone. He was mainly known for special effects. You know, he started off doing practical effects due to Tom Savini's work on slashers from back in the day. And after a while, he decided, you know what, I want to do directing. So he made a few short films featuring Art the Clown. He did a full length called Terrifier. And I'm just going to go over the budget for that one quick. For a recap, the budget for that was $35,000 to $55,000, and it made $460,000. Not too bad. And then we had Terrifier 2, which upped the budget to $250,000, made $15.7 million, which is absolutely insane. Movie was only meant to be one weekend playing, and it stayed for I think a month or two in the theater because the demand was so high. And now we're at Terrifier 3, which is at a budget of $2 million, significantly bigger. Mm-hmm. And it has made $23.6 million as of Wednesday, October 16th. Everyone is eating this movie up. Everyone loves it. I know you were kind of like on the fence with this one, especially after watching those first 2 movies.
Yeah, I was real nervous for it because like I said in our last video, I can see the appeal to them. I just don't. As films, they're just not good. Like, the acting is atrocious. And there's like the plot's like very vague. Like in the second one, and it's kind of one of the issues I have with this one as well. Which I'm assuming they're going to explain in the fourth one. Just the whole thing with her dad, they don't really give you a ton with that. But going into this one, I was thoroughly surprised because I did very, very, very much like this movie.
And that made me so happy when you had told me that just yesterday, or I think 2 days ago. I'm not sure. And I was kind of like shocked because I walked out and I walked out the movie and I loved it. I was like, this is definitely the best one out of the three movies.
Easy.
Well, and I was like, I wonder what Jerry's gonna think. And I had a feeling you would definitely be a little more positive to it, especially on the acting front. You can tell, like, the people from the previous movies, if you had issues with them before, they've definitely stepped up their game acting wise. So props to them, particularly the kid that plays Jonathan. I know a lot of people weren't a fan of that character, whether it was the way he was written or his acting style, but he's really good here, and we'll get to it, and we'll get to why in a second. But yeah, this movie, it was just kind of surreal. When I sat in the theater, it was packed, like full house. I don't know about how your theater was, but filled to the rim. And I know there was reports of walkouts and people getting all sick, but I had none of that in my theater. Everyone sat tight unless they went to get popcorn.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that in my theater either. The only person who walked out of the theater was me, and that was to go to the restroom at one point. Because I got an extra large drink, and it was.
That's why I don't do that. I don't get drinks in the movies anymore. No. I will be running back and forth to the bathroom
every time I go watch a movie. I go to AMC or the Disney Springs or the Cinemark at City Walk because their Coke Freestyle machines have cream soda red. And red cream soda, I don't know what the flavor is
at
exactly.
Cinemark? Because I've seen this at AMC.
The Cinemark, I don't know if all of them do, but the one at City Walk does. And the red cream soda tastes like Gola Champagne.
Yes,
I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but that's what it tastes like. So every time I go see a movie, I do have to get a large drink, and get that drink because it's fucking delicious.
I don't blame you.
Do you think that all of these like walkouts and people vomiting and stuff, do you think it's actually happening, or do you think it's promotion?
I think it's actually happening.
Really?
I think they're exaggerating it, but I think it's actually happening.
Because the whole UK, like, we showed the premiere we had the premiere in the UK, and in the first 10 minutes, like 8 people walked out and like 2 threw up or whatever it was. It wasn't anything worse than what we've gotten in the other 2 films.
No, not at all. I mean, that's another thing too, like the violence in this movie, the gore, the thing that everyone goes into these movies for, while it is definitely graphic and gross and disgusting and everything you're wanting in these movies, I couldn't help but sit back and think, kind of be divided, where I was like, I feel like I've seen worse in the previous 2 movies. I feel like I've seen worse in other movies. I've seen this just this year alone. But that's because this movie has a different style when it comes to the gore and the violence compared to all those compared to other movies outside of this franchise. It's a little more over the top and just downright cartoonish sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, no, just as for the violence within this franchise, I feel like, there's some kills in here that are very bad, particularly that shower scene that everyone's talking about, and a scene towards the end of the movie in the third act involving rats. That's all I'm going to say for now. I feel like the bedroom scene was pretty jacked up, and I still feel like that split in the first movie was definitely awful. Yeah. I mean, and for good reason. I mean, it's still iconic to this day. A lot of people will be traumatized because of that scene still. But yeah, I feel like back to the point, I feel like those reviews, those stories are true. There's even there was this YouTuber I saw, Spooky Astronauts. She does a lot of horror stuff. She does like a before and after, where she'll record herself before she goes to the movie, and then afterwards she'll give her thoughts. And she said before, like, I don't believe in the hype and stuff like that. Like, I never believe in those as a horror fan, so we'll see. And then she comes out and she's like, I am not joking. I kid you not. 2 people passed out, 1 in front of me, and I had to help. And she had to like help and like assist for a little bit before returning to her seat for the movie, because it was bad. So she was like, believe the hype. And this was out in Australia. This wasn't in the US.
Are we just fucked up?
I think we're sickos.
Is it because I watched Saw when I was 10? Like,
I think that's it. Like, Granted, like 1 and 2 got me bad. They never got me like to the point of wanting to puke. It was just like, okay, that's gross. Like I don't want to see that. But Saw, growing up with all those movies, like I think that gore prepped us.
I
Like
don't.
Saw, Hostel, Cabin Fever.
I don't. I'm throughout all three of these Terrifier films. Yes, the kills are over the top. They're ridiculous. Um, there was never a kill where I was like, oh god, like I can't watch that. Like I was just like that's a lot. But like none of them ever like grossed me out or like I was like maybe uncomfortable or anything.
Yeah, there was only one scene in this movie that got me like for a second, like okay, that was gross.
Was it
Like
the shower?
no, that one was like I thought that was kind of hilarious. Maybe yeah, that's when I'm fucked up. I was laughing through a lot of these kills. Like
Was
the
it?
mall one, I felt like a sicko for laughing. I'm just
Oh, I saw that one coming.
I didn't. I didn't at all.
100%.
Like I thought it. We'll get to it in a second, but I did not see that coming. My jaw literally dropped, and I was like, "No fucking way!" Like I
Yeah.
couldn't help but laugh and be in shock. Um, and that's another thing with this movie. I will say why I think it's the best one. Art the Clown, David Howard Thornton is the best he's ever been as Art. He is Art. No one else can play him now at this point. He's cemented himself as this icon. And he's really good here. He's menacing. He's fucking hilarious, especially in that scene at the bar where he's talking to Santa Claus and stuff. That had me cracking up the whole time. I love things like that. I love when Art can do that, and like just horror movies in general. Just like when they're not taking themselves seriously, they can just lean in and have fun with the craziness.
Yeah.
I love that. Lauren Laverna as Sienna Shaw, the final girl. She's definitely at least top 10 final girls ever in a horror movie.
Yeah.
I think she's awesome. Like she was really good in the second one. I was really impressed with her here, especially with how they actually dealt with story stuff in here,
She was
which
the only
is
one who
kind
could
of
act
like,
in the second one.
yeah. Well, David Howard Thornton, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she's really good here, and she has a lot more to do here, especially emotionally, which I was not expecting from this movie. Like I knew she definitely would have been traumatized from those events, but the way they play into it here is really, really good.
Yes, that was something that really made this one stand out was the emotional aspect from her of it as well. Like it felt like the plot felt much more there. Like the
Yeah.
second one had a plot, but the whole like very vague dad stuff kind of made it feel like pretty loose. Also,
Yeah.
like there's no I don't even want to say that. No, I won't get into that.
Okay.
Because you could have the same argument with Michael Myers. Yeah, the plot for the second one felt just a little loose to me. Also, like we mentioned in the last one, the runtime was just super fucking long.
Way too long.
This
Way
one
too
had
long.
a similar runtime, but I didn't mind the length of this one. And it's because I was invested in the story.
Yeah. I think the script here is definitely better. Of course, there's going to be some goofy things here and there, but you're in the third Terrifier movie. It's kind of almost expected at this point.
Yeah.
Not everyone is also going to be going in for the story.
That being said, you kind of as much as I don't think 1 and 2 are good movies, you do need those two to make this one as good as it is.
Yeah.
Like you can't
if you
go
go
into
in
this one
blind,
blind.
yeah, I mean, if you just want to see the kills because it's like a dare to watch this movie at this point because of all these
Yeah.
crazy reports, I can see that. But if you want to know what the hell's even going on, you definitely need to watch the first two. Like, no doubt about it. There's so much. There's a lot more of a connective tissue with this one compared to the first two movies. Like the first two movies, they could have been separated and you wouldn't have thought too much about it. But with this third one, it really is tying it together and it's leading up to a conclusion that's gonna make everything here make sense soon. Because yeah, as we were trying to get into, the lore here is It's very vague. They don't do too much into it, but they give you just enough to hint at where it's going. Um, and there's still some people that are confused, like they don't understand what half of it means and this and that. And um, I think hopefully they'll tie it up and make it nice. But yeah, if you're looking for a lot of answers in this one, you're not gonna get them here for sure. But that being said, the movie is so entertaining and it's got this like fast-paced nature to it that the 2 hours and like what 8 minutes flies by.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm gonna take this away from Gizmo before he chokes.
Oh gosh.
Hey buddy, can I see that?
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
For those in the know, Gizmo is Jerry's cute little monster.
Let me see this. Hold on. Give me this.
He's cute, but he's a monster.
Holy shit, fucking smells. Holy shit.
Oh man.
So he likes to chew on things. So I got him this
Like most dogs.
yeah. I got him this this like hoof that had like a peanut butter filling in it, and he has been chewing on that, and he broke off a piece just now and he was trying to swallow it. He also has an oral fixation and he always has to have something in his mouth.
Right.
But he was trying to swallow it, and he's also I have to cut his treats up very small because he doesn't like to chew and he will choke. I've had to like pull a treat out of his throat before because he didn't chew. So I just had to take it away from him and throw it in the trash. Also, it fucking smells. I don't know if I don't know what it is, but as he continues to chew it, it just smells like atrocious. But you're done with it. I'm not buying you those anymore. But let's continue.
The things we do for the dogs that we love, I swear. But yes, continue. Length, yes. It's a little shorter. It's still 2 hours. Some may see that as a little long, but I think here it's just perfect. It's not like... I even heard there was actually 30 minutes of footage that was cut from this movie. It was originally even longer. And there's a lot of cut scenes from this movie, which I think I could kind of piece together what the scenes are.
Yeah.
For example, there's a scene where Laura Lavera's Sienna has to go get an item from a location in the previous movie, and I think 2 scenes later, it cuts to her already retrieved it, and I'm pretty sure that last place location was a really significant place, so I feel like that must have been filmed, but it had to get cut due to length.
I do think they kind of made a mistake cutting that because I kind of forgot about it. I saw the soot or the dirt on her hands, and I was kind of confused for a second. I
was confused at first too, and then I saw the box and I kind of pieced it together, and I was like, oh, okay. Which I think is fine. I think it shows Damien is trying to trust his audience a little more when it comes to stuff like that. And as for the other scenes, I mean, I can only imagine, there's a few off-screen kills here. I won't get into them now, but I could assume that those scenes were cut. And maybe a little more lore stuff that they didn't want to get into yet. I don't know. I'm only assuming, but I know for sure that scene where she goes to get an item, that was definitely filmed, and that must have been cut. Ain't no way it wasn't. Now, what I was going to say, for those that are not in the know, this movie takes place on Christmas instead of Halloween like the previous 2. So Art the Clown is, he's dressing up like a Santa Claus going around and just terrorizing Miles County. And it's the violence in here is excessive, but it's fun. Especially that opening scene, I could already tell, I can see how a lot of people probably walked out of this movie pissed off because they didn't want to see that. I mean, everyone's talked about it. It's a child getting torn up, and you don't see it, you hear it, and then you see the aftermath afterwards, and it's not a pretty sight. But again, I know children dying in horror movies, it's taboo, and that's why this movie's doing it, because it wants to push the boundary. But I feel like we've seen worse. Like I was saying before, I feel like we watched When Evil Lurks earlier this year, and I'm like, that was gruesome when it came to a child death. that was that made me sick to my stomach. That whole movie made me sick to my stomach. But yeah. So with this one, I'm like, I get it. If you're not seasoned into horror movies, you're gonna hate this. You're gonna leave. But as for us sickos, I think that's why we were fine. The opening was still tense. I had my heart pounding, and it just set up for the rest of the movie in a really cool way. And we're following Sienna again, going through her PTSD, and we're also following her brother Jonathan, who was the brother in the previous movie. A lot of people, didn't like this actor, Elliot Fulham, whether it was due to his character, whether due to his acting style. He just seemed like a kid that's just getting into acting. So I didn't think too much into it. I was one of the few that thought he was fine in the second. I know a lot of people I talked to didn't. I think here he's really good. He's really subdued. He's not like the bratty, annoying teenager that's like going on about Art the Clown and all these other crazy stuff he was saying. He's definitely just trying to like be normal, live a normal life, and just move past the situation. It's been 5 years since the second one, so he just wants to move on. And I thought what they did with him was really good too. And on top of it, I have to give a shout out to Samantha Scafidi, who did Victoria Hayes. She was in the first movie, the sister of like the main girl in the first movie, who ends up getting messed up by the end. She comes back for this one, and she was awesome as Art the Clown's partner in crime. Yeah, she does some things in there that they were pretty gross. Particularly the attic scene. If you know, you know. I don't even think I can even talk about it here without getting demonetized. It is so disgusting. Yeah, that I saw a lot of people. I looked at my crowd at that scene, and I saw a lot of people squirming like, "Oh my god." Yeah, that was gross. But yeah, and then we got a few new characters like Jonathan's roommate, who his name was Cole, I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Cole. Here it is. Yeah, Jonathan's dorm mate, Mason McCarthy. I'm sorry, I'm butchering every name right now. I thought he was going to be a dickhead when I first saw him. He actually ended up being a really good character.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
He wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah, he just seems like the typical douchebag. But like whenever his girlfriend, the podcaster, is like, trying to talk about the events of Art the Clown and stuff to him, he's like, "Hey, can you back up?"
She was irritating.
Like give him space. She was so irritating, but she was also really good in the film as well for what she had to do. And yeah, like you said, everyone in this movie, the acting is just top tier. It's just been beefed up a lot. Everyone's on their A game. Everyone's having a blast. I will say the one thing I missed was kind of that grainy look, though, that the first two movies have. You didn't really get it over here. At least I didn't notice.
I noticed it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, it's very subtle, but I remember being like, it just definitely looks cleaner, which is not a bad thing, but...
I noticed it in the beginning, like the opening scene, as the film went on. I don't know if it was as heavy. I don't know if maybe I got used to it, or if it kind of like just slowly degraded as, like the effect just degraded as the film went on, but...
It could have been that. Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't notice it too much, especially when I was looking at the third act. I'm like, this looks cleaner. But, it still had like enough of like that color tone to make it look old school.
Yeah.
I guess, there's not much to say. There's not much to say about this story-wise because, like I said, there isn't that much. But we're going to start going into some story bits. So if you care, watch the movie, come back, but we're gonna start delving in a little more to like the lore that they kind of dropped here and then the kills. So that is your spoiler warning. However, I don't think it's too much of a big deal with these kind of movies to worry about story. So stick around if you want. So we noticed in it was established at the end of the first movie, Art is now supernatural, and there's a lot of stuff going on with the father, where like they discussed that he like before he died apparently by suicide. He died because he died and he had these drawings of Art the Clown and Sienna's costume and the sword she uses in the second and again here. And now we have Victoria being like the mouth of this demon that's been following Art around and stuff like that. Um, what do you think, I guess, of the lore so far? And are you do you have any ideas of like what's going on, I guess, when it comes to like Art or his sidekicks?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
Because they give you like nothing to work with. They don't. I'm sure there are theories out there, for people
There are, and
who.
apparently there's even like stuff in the movie, but I don't remember catching any of these lore bits in the movies.
Someone who is a larger Terrifier fan than I am probably has a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I don't. These movies are very new to me. Um, so I'm not really sure what to think of the situation. I really only have enough information the from what the film gives me on a first watch. I'm sure there, on a second or third watch of these films, you're going to notice some other things,
Right.
possibly, but I don't really have enough information to draw any conclusion or theories or anything.
Gotcha. So I had to do some deep diving, and it's something that was apparently done in a novelization that is considered canon of Terrifier 2.
See, I didn't even fucking know there was a novel. Like,
Me neither. And I'm hoping it's something they explain clearer in this fourth movie because it does sound cool, but I just feel like you probably should have established that a little clearer in these movies, and maybe they did, and I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I had a few while watching this movie, so like maybe that's why I missed it. I don't know. Um, but yeah, apparently the little girl demon from the second movie and the Victoria from this movie are the same demon. That's why the little girl's not in this movie. So that explains that. Also, the little girl's probably too old to be playing the same character again. So, um, but
but
yeah, apparently that was the thing.
I thought so. Getting into, did you already said we're getting into spoilers now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When Victoria speaks to Sienna at the end, it sounds like it's Art speaking to her through Victoria.
It's not the case.
That's not what's happening.
I think Art. So this is my thing. I think Art and Victoria have the same mission. They have the same exact mission. Um, but this demon, um, but this demon is the one doing the talking. Art's kind of on the thing, and that's another thing people didn't like because they kind of think it makes Art kind of look like a henchman, like a side character almost in his own movie.
But
But I didn't see that.
but he says, I can kind of say it that way. But he says to Sienna, it's something like, "I'm gonna fuck up your face like I did to her," and Victoria points at herself. Art is the one who fucked up Victoria's face.
Yeah. So what was it? There's another theory going around with this first movie that I've been looking at, and it makes sense, but also doesn't. But they're saying that Art the Clown was actually just a normal serial killer before he got possessed by a demon himself. And it kind of makes sense, but doesn't. I feel like they need to clean that up a little bit more.
Is this a
But
theory
supposedly, yeah.
or
That's what because they're saying at the end of the first movie when he he gets shot and stuff and you're just like, oh, he's dead, and then when he's in the morgue he gets back up. That they're saying that's the moment when Art the Clown gets possessed by a demon.
okay?
But if he messed up her face, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Also, that's a lot to just kind of throw in there with no fucking like
It's a
build
lot.
up into that or anything. Like, feels
Yeah,
kind
and
of
I
like
think that was
they're.
it was a thing where like I think they wanted to build intrigue more than like getting into the story because I think they're afraid that like a lot of people are not going to care. They just want the kills, they want the gore and stuff like that.
Yeah, I really hope. I'm sure. I know. I'm sure they will. That a lot of questions get answered in the fourth one, because like I was fine with Art not having any motive or anything, and of him just being
Yeah.
straight evil, and that
Straight
was
psycho.
it. Yeah, I was fine with just that. But now it seems like that there is a mission, at least for Art, and I everything has been very vague. So
Yeah. I think they're really gonna go for it in that fourth one. I think they're gonna take that risk. They have to at this point. Like they've already set too much up.
have they started filming or?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I think they've started writing already. When this movie was in production, Damien Leone said like they were asking if he was gonna do a fourth one, and he was like, "I have too much story. I think I'm gonna have to do a fourth one if I want to actually like end it the way I want to end it." Because he has a plan. He's said it plenty of times in interviews. He's like, "This is not gonna go forever. Like this will conclude." So this fourth one is looking like the final one until Hollywood's like, please bring it back, we want money, and then we'll see from there, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lore stuff with the father, we don't know anything about the father yet. We get to see him in flashbacks, and we saw how like the costume for Sienna in the second movie was created, but we don't really know anything else in terms of lore.
Yeah.
We just know they're connected somehow for some reason. And then when this movie ends, we'll jump to the ending. Like, there's a final showdown between our Victoria, Gabby, which is Sienna's little cousin, and Sienna. Gabby gets dragged to hell with Victoria. And then the portal closes and Art escapes, and Sienna swears she's gonna go find her. So we're obviously going to hell. And this gets to another theory about Jonathan. Jonathan is killed off screen, and I don't buy it for a second.
No, he's not dead.
I'm like, I don't buy that even for this movie. And it's like, why would you hide it? Why would you not show it?
He's too large of a character to not show that kill.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it. You want to like bring in new characters here and there and stuff like that, but it's like, you wouldn't just throw him away like that.
No,
that's why I'm thinking like,
it was too easy. Like
too easy.
When the uncle goes to pick him up, and you can tell that it's not him on the phone. I'm sure that they have Jonathan or something. I don't think they just killed him though.
Yeah,
because they definitely would have. Yeah, they would have shown something like that.
Yeah, it's like, why? It's like, and then the director's trying to be coy, like, oh, I didn't think people wanted to see that, and it's like, yo, you killed her mom in graphic detail, and you showed it all. Like, come on, like, you're hiding something. Either they filmed it and they cut it out because they didn't want to kill him off bat yet. They were not sure. And I feel like it's because people had complaints about that character in the second one. They wanted to see how it would play out in the third one, to see if people were interested in seeing more of him. But I don't think he's dead. Ain't no freaking way he's dead. Especially with like how the off-screen kills are in this movie. There's a few of them that were kind of weird. Like Art, like in the beginning of the movie, how Art gets his costume from like the other guy wearing an Art the Clown costume. Yeah, I was like, that was hilarious. Like that one, I was like, it would have been cool to see, but like I didn't mind it. I already know what happened.
Yeah.
But to do it as a plot twist for a main character, no, that makes no sense.
No. When they put the glasses on him and they were on the skull and they were like, it's not Gabby, and she was like, Jonathan. I was like, that's not.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, who's to say they wouldn't lie again? They're just trying to break this girl's spirit. Only know Jonathan's hiding, or they dragged him in hell.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like if Art were to kill Jonathan, he would do it in front of her.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't just be like, oh, here's his skull, an unrecognizable thing, and you're just going to believe that it's him. Like, he would make sure that she watched it happen.
Yeah, she really wanted to break her. Like, yeah, no, he's alive. But going off to to kills that are on screen, what were some of your favorites? I think I already know your number one favorite.
Um, I don't know.
It's kind of hard to pick such a depraved thing as your favorite. I know.
Yeah. Um, I I don't know if I have an answer to that.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. What kill was the absolute craziest one in the entire movie to you?
I think I think the shower one is definitely like the most like brutal out of all of
Yeah.
them, but I think the liquid nitrogen kill,
Yes.
because he's still like he's alive through like fucking all of that.
Yeah.
Um and it's not really I mean, I'm sure like blood loss he's fucking dead, but like to watch your fucking like hands like break off of your body like
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. These movies, like anyone in real life would have passed out from the pain immediately, but like these
Yeah.
fools are just alive and just reacting to it. Which, by the way, I will say that kill with the Santa Claus, it was kind of like it was almost a little sad because this dude genuinely just wanted to like hang out with Art and have a good time.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, movie, I can't believe you pulled that. You made a character I actually kind of give a shit about, and you killed him. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why it hits harder, I think.
Okay. I am going to believe that the power of the sword healed Sienna's hands,
Mhm.
because you see at the end her hands get sliced and then they form back together. The cut is healed. So I'm going to suspend some belief and say that that is what happened. But when he breaks her hands right before she opens the box, and then she immediately has the strength to fight him again, I was like, but I'm just going to assume that the sword healed her hands as she grabbed
That's
it.
what I was thinking too. Also, I gotta say, I thought it was so stupid that she's trying to save Gabby and she's holding the sharp end of the sword. Like that's gonna fucking not end badly.
Yeah, but Gabby needed something to hold on to.
I know, but I was like, it's gonna slide right off of you.
Yeah, yeah, but she didn't really have another.
I get it.
She
But
didn't
I
have
was
time to
still
run to
like,
the garage. And grab
it
the
was one of those
stepladder.
moments that took me out. I was like, what are you doing? All right, movie, whatever. I'm gonna say, yeah, that shower scene is like the one everyone's gonna be talking about for sure. It's the most creative. It is the most. The pain on that is unimaginable. Um, I think for me, the craziest one was the one that made me queasy was that rat one. Um, where like like he like hammers the tube down the aunt's throat and like has rats going in there and then slices it so they can crawl out like that. I don't know what it is. It was just the rats, man. That did it. I was like, yeah, okay, that's disgusting. Like I didn't feel like I was gonna throw up, but I was just like, I had to look away for a second. Um, and then the attic one was just disgusting. So I think it's borderline just trying a little too hard to be edgy, but it makes sense for this movie, you know. I I think I think that one was really disgusting, but like just with the box cutter and that guy's head getting split open and stuff, it was like
Yeah.
and then Victoria just watching in the corner. uh
I was really scared they were going to go a
we're
weird
gonna show it all.
no, like a weird like not romance plot, but like something between the two of them. I was like, please don't.
Yeah, according to David Howard Thornton, Art is asexual. And I
Yeah,
was like,
I
okay,
figured that much.
makes sense. I don't think he cares too much about booty.
Yeah.
But I just love also like after Victoria's done doing her thing, he just looks at her and he's like, "Shame on you."
Yeah.
Like that shit was hilarious. Um Yeah, that kill was brutal. Also, I just realized that dude that got killed with the box cutter in that attic scene, that's homeboy from Scary Movie 1, the parody of Scream.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Bobby, the boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't recognize him at all. Like, he had all the beard and all that shit, but I was like, oh shit,
No, it's been
that's cool, I
fucking
guess.
however many years.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool, I guess. Um, so shout out to him, whatever your name is. um, yeah, I don't know. There's not much else to say about this movie. It's just like if you're a fan, you already know you're gonna go see it, and you're listening to us talking about it, like, oh, what they like, blah blah blah. Like, you're gonna see this movie. Um, if you're still here with us and you haven't even heard of these movies, they're gross and they're a fun time for Halloween. Go check them out. I also see this one being rewatched in a lot of like for a lot of people during Christmas and stuff like that. This is definitely going to be like a Christmas cult classic,
Yeah.
like in vein of like Silent Night, Deadly Night, or Black Christmas, and now we got a new one with Terrifier 3.
Not Black Christmas.
People still watch Black Christmas, the OG, not the remakes.
Even the OG, God.
I enjoy the OG. It's a slow burn, but it's like it's a weird, cozy slow burn of a movie.
As long as I watched 3 of those. And
Yeah.
not a single one of
For a
them was
review
good.
that never happened.
Not a single one of them was good.
I have a soft spot for the first two. Like I grew up watching the first remake.
Especially the fucking 2019. Was it 2019?
That was an awful movie.
That was fucking atrocious.
I was like, this is stupid. This seemed rushed. There was no thought. It was just
They called it Black Christmas, and it had like there was no relation to like
absolutely nothing to do with the movie.
yeah.
It was like, just call it something else.
Yeah, it wasn't.
like-
It was a brand new story. It wasn't even a fucking like remake
Yeah.
or anything.
No, it pisses me off because it's literally just you made this movie and you knew, and it's like you only took the name because you knew it was going to make money on that alone.
Yeah.
And it was just so ugh. Fuck that movie. Anyway. Yeah, Terrifier 3, great one. What would you rate it?
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Same here. I was like, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. It's definitely the best of the 3.
Yep.
I can definitely see myself watching this again with some friends if they haven't seen it, and I'm like, oh, you got to watch this. It's so fucked up. But yeah, it's a good time. Go check it out. And what else do we got coming up this year
Heretic.
in terms of horror?
Um,
Heretic, Nosferatu.
Yes. Oh god, there was another one. There were a few in the theater that I saw.
We got Screamboat.
Companion.
Oh yeah, but that's next year.
Is it next year?
I'm pretty sure it's next year.
Fucking better not be next year.
I'm gonna say because that one looked interesting. They played it again in my theater, and I was trying to avoid it, but you know, I mean, thankfully the trailer doesn't seem like it gives anything away.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Oh, it's a shame. I love Jack Quaid, and I love Sophie Tractor and
Thatcher.
Thatcher. I thought it was Tractor. No,
I thought it was
I love her so
Tractor.
much that I Sophie Tractor, y'all. She's a real beautiful.
Yeah, just
I love her so much I can't pronounce her name.
it being the same people as Barbarian, and I fucking love Barbarian.
That's a great movie. I absolutely love that one. But it's not that's the thing. It's not the same writer or director. It's just the same producers, really.
Dylan O'Brien just came out in a film called Caddo Lake that I think is supposed to be a horror film.
Yes, I forgot. I've been seeing it on Max, and I've been hearing good things about it. Maybe we can talk about that next, if anything.
Yeah, Dylan O'Brien hasn't done anything in a minute, so I mean he has, just nothing like major.
Yeah, that's funny. Caddo Lake and then Saturday Night. That dude is making a comeback.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Uh,
I mean he got, it was a shame because he was like one of my favorite actors. Like he's good. But
it's you know what it is? It's after that Maze Runner movie that he kind of stopped for a while.
yeah, because he got injured and he got like super depressed and he kind of like
Yeah,
stopped acting for a little bit. But he's coming back and
that's good.
we're gonna get him in some good shit.
Hell yeah. No, I'm excited. But yeah, maybe Caddo Lake will be our next one. Who knows? And we also have to do a Halloween video. We got to think of something to do for Halloween. Shall we talk Halloween?
No.
Come on, you don't want to talk about your favorite Halloween ends?
I'll fucking set my ass on fire before watching that movie again.
Oh, the love. I can feel it. But all right, that's going to do it for this review of Terrifier 3. We will be back soon with more reviews. Hit that like button, subscribe, keep in the know for, future reviews and other videos coming out. We it's been a while. We've been pretty busy, but trust us, we have some stuff we're going to try to get together, kind of change it up from the reviews and stuff. So just keep a lookout for that. So once again, I am your co-host, Brandon.
I am Jerry.
You should not
Stay
go
spooky.
looking for trouble.